now. All right, go back to Zoom. So I'm just going to check that we are. Just bear with us while we do the technical stuff, please. Thank you for your patience. One day I will have a theme tune and we'll put that on while we're doing this.
Sing?
Right, there we go. Yep, we are live. Have you found it on my page? Have you shared?
Yeah, I just shared now. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, my head's a bit more functioning. It was kind of struggling before. I think just because the energies were so strong, like I just couldn't really work technology.
I get it.
I was opening my photos instead of opening Zoom on the computer. It was just like, come on.
It's all the same.
Get it together. But I also feel, I feel there's a lot of real, I mean, when isn't there? But particularly at the moment, there's a lot of strong energies coming through.
Sure.
All right, just sharing it to a few groups. I love when they're all together and I can just go like one after another. It doesn't happen very often. That's it, I think. Right. So just waiting for people to come in. And while they do, I'll just say that I'm Denise, I'm the host, and this is Love Speaks Love, a platform to share experience, wisdom, ceremony. There might be a bit of light language going on today, who knows? Who knows? We've got no restrictions. And my guest today is Martin McNicholl, and it's a delight to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it feels, it's interesting that we were both, and other people as well, working on freedom codes. Like that seems to be the expression that's coming through at the moment. Freedom codes.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Is like, I don't know about you, but I think spirit has fun with me. I like things come to me very, very last minute. So like that freedom code, that whole thing came through to me we did it on a Tuesday. I think it came to me on like 12 o'clock on a Sunday night.
Wow.
So like before that, everything just happens very quickly for me because I know the reason why. There's a very defined system because I tend to overthink things. I tend to get too much into things. So it's like leave it to the last second, and then there's nothing else to do but just flow with it. So yeah, it's very last minute for me. But yeah, powerful energies and really a theme, and I'm seeing and feeling a lot of it. So it was amazing to read your post that you on the same day and your beautiful ceremony. So it's amazing.
And I hadn't even registered until the end of the ceremony that it was 7/7 either. Like beforehand, it was kind of in my awareness a few days before, but I hadn't really thought about it.
Someone else, a few people, I think that's where we're at here now, because even a few people like in the community would be very tuned into that and would always know and always been aware. A couple other people said, yeah, I wasn't even aware of that one. So a lot of timeline jumping, merging, shifting, I think. But it's all good. We get it comes exactly when it needs.
Now I'm going to, I usually just start with a little visualization just to kind of put us in our heart space, put everyone in the heart space that's watching as well, and connect all of our hearts together. And when I first started doing this, it's partly because of the name Love Speaks Love, but also I knew at the beginning I'd be a little bit nervous starting. So it was nice for me at the time to kind of like get into meditation space, which I can do quite easily. But also if guests are nervous as well, it's kind of nice for them to get into the heart more than the fear space. So I'll just do that as well while everybody's gathering together. So if you're in a position to do so, I invite you to close your eyes if you'd like to, and take a few long and slow deep breaths. And this is a beautiful opportunity to bring our awareness to our breathing. And even just being conscious of our breathing for a few minutes every day is really helpful for our bodies. Slows everything down. And one easy breathwork technique is the 4-4-4 breathing. 4-4-4-4 breathing, the box breathing. So breathing in for 4, holding it for 4, out for 4, and holding it for 4 before you start again. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and in again. And we can breathe in love, and we can breathe out anything of the day so far or the day ahead, anything that's stopping us being in this now moment. And connecting all of our hearts together. So connecting my heart with yours, Martin, and with everybody watching, either live or on the replay or on YouTube. And connecting our hearts with the heart of Gaia. And as we do that, we can visualize that we have roots growing down from the base of our spine, from our coccyx, and also the soles of our feet. So like the roots of a tree, they're going deep down into the earth, but down deeper and deeper through all of the layers, all the way to the crystal grids, the New Earth templates, and the crystalline diamond heart of Gaia. And as we connect with the heart of Gaia, feeling her love for us, feeling her beautiful, supporting, nurturing, and anchoring energy, and also feeling her gratitude for all that we do and all that we be, and her recognition of each and every one of us. And as we connect all of our hearts together, we create a beautiful grid of energy that works its way all around the globe, going deep into the earth. And I'm just seeing little nodes of light being switched on all around the world as we do that. And connecting our hearts to the heart of the sun, the solar logos, the heart of the moon, and to the heart of Source Creator. So our energies act as a bridge between heaven and earth. And with our awareness back in our heart space, beginning to move our bodies and opening our eyes whenever we're ready. So, Martin, I've got lots of things to ask you, but I'm also just going to flow with the energy as well. So we were saying before, when we were just connecting before the call, that we were actually both in Australia at the same time. Martin was living there for 3 years, and actually in Australian terms really close, like you were only about 2 hours up the road. And you spent some time in Byron Bay as well. So I find, even though you were quite a different person then from how you are now, you would still have been emitting an energy. And I like that our energies may even have passed at that time, but that we shared kind of oxygen space, that we actually, were in. I feel there would have been some kind of energetic connection, even though it wasn't something that we were conscious of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I first saw you when you were on with Shanine. There was a Zoom call that Shanine was leading, and it was the one where Shalin, I think it was the first one that she appeared in as well. And I remember Shanine kind of pointing her out and being delighted that she was there, because I know she'd been trying to sort of encourage her to do calls like that for a while. So I was conscious of your energy then. And then a couple of people around here had mentioned you as well, Linda Park and Janet as well had both mentioned that they'd done a lot of work with you. But it wasn't until recently that our energies really started to weave together. Oh, I came on one of your calls as well, and I don't know if you remember this. I mentioned where I was in Yorkshire, and you started channeling stuff about the energy lines here and about it being important for people. It was awakening certain throat things for people who wanted to express themselves a bit differently, I think was how you put it. And that really, really resonated with me. So our energies connected then as well.
Yeah. I didn't, when you first said it, I didn't remember, but as you spoke, I remember, like, it felt like it's like an autonomous zone. It's like it's like autonomous onto its own. It's like it's like connected with other landmass, but there's something energetic that kind of sets it apart. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah, that they're very much this energy here, but there's something really autonomous about it.
That's really
I don't know
interesting.
if I've never been. I don't think I've ever been there. I may have been. I may have been. I've been through it, I'm sure. We definitely drove through it, yes, on our way here, I think. But
Yeah.
I love what you said about the weaving of energies. I've said that to, I've talked that, we didn't talk about that like specifically, but I've talked with a few people about that recently, because I've realized people like we're just reconnecting with. It's always a reconnection, a remembering that we're realizing that we're, even my wife, we talked about this, like we were in the same places at the same times. But like you said, we could have just, I like the idea, like we just brushed shoulders at one time, didn't have any idea, and there was something there, but we just, yeah, there's lots of people have been talking about and discovering we were there. It's just, it was like, it wasn't the right time. It certainly wasn't the right time for me at that time, but everything is the right time. But I think I was joking with you. I don't think you literally wouldn't have been able to see me. We'd have been that much different vibrations 10 years ago when I was in Australia. It was a crazy time, but they all got us to where we are, so it's all good.
And there's a beautiful code exchange as well that I guess is stronger when you meet in person, but doing this and chatting online, there is a beautiful sharing of codes. There is, and I love the word weaving. I'm using weaving a lot more even in my treatments as well. I'm weaving energies into people's bodies. But just having an interaction like this, plus with the people that watch as well, there is this beautiful exchange of codes.
Yeah. I when I was putting up the post just before, this is so funny. Like you see, I've seen your profile loads of times. I've seen you on video loads of times. But when I was putting a post just before I come on here, I got your profile picture, and when I seen the picture, there was a recognition that I didn't see before. It's just amazing. It's really amazing to me. I don't know if everyone experiences, but I'm just amazed at things that are just right in front of me. In one moment, it's one thing, and then the next thing, it's just absolutely brand new. It seems just so fresh and new to me. But there was a recognition when I looked. Again, we didn't speak about this, but it was literally just before the call. It was like a deep recognition. So I feel
Yeah.
that's, yeah, it's
Yeah, and I
amazing.
feel that on a soul level. And, I don't always have to get into past lives. I don't think we need to know what they are.
Mm.
But even beyond that, there is a soul family recognition as well. And our soul families are going to be huge. But there's definitely that knowing of, oh, it's you.
Yes, exactly. It's so comfortable. It's so easy. It's just like, it's natural, even you've never spoken before. And this is, to be honest, I feel like this is the gift of the internet that has brought that to reconnect people. Of course, the physical connections is very important. But in this time now, and the time of this kind of real explosion of consciousness, the internet has been so huge at that reconnecting soul family in a way that wasn't possible before that. It was much slower because people had to move continents and all of that. So it's, yeah, very exciting time, powerful times.
I had to read books when I was awakening.
You had to what?
Read books.
Oh
That was
yeah,
how
of
we got
course,
our information.
of
It wasn't
course.
like it wasn't
Well, I still
Google.
do continuously. I just love. Well, I do it on Kindle because just for ease, because I just read continuously. Kindle's just easiest for me, but I read nonstop. I I hear some other people that, they say they don't read. Now, that's one thing I continue to do, but I don't consume a lot of other kind of material that's similar to mine's. That's something that I've been guided over the last while. But I continuously read books. Like there's just always another teacher, another book that just gets delivered to me in the perfect timing. But I love it. I'll never stop, I don't think.
When I first started awakening, it was I can't remember the film. There's like a robot in a film that gets books and he just like brrr, and like flicks through all the pages, and that's what it was like. It was like, and I think he used to say input, 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 and that was what it was like for me. It was just like as soon as I started
Inhaling
on
it.
this journey, yeah, I just wanted it all. It was like there was a beautiful thing I saw the other day of a young boy in a classroom, um, and he was everyone else. It was all of them, and he
Yeah,
was going like this. He was
I've
turning a
seen it.
page and
Amazing.
going like that. Did you see that?
I've seen it. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Genius.
Yeah, I would love to have had that awareness when I was at school because I absolutely hated it. It was just amazing. It was just drawing it in and so peaceful and slow and conscious about it. It was amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and that must work. It absolutely must work. You may not be conscious of it, but the information is definitely going in.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in the UK. The first kind of, I was reading a lot of stuff, but spiritually, there was nothing, it was all mindset and all of that for many years. But I was actually living in the UK in Bournemouth when I got to that stage where you were, and it was Eckhart Tolle. It was the Power of Now. I had this just incredible experience where I just felt love for the first time inside of me, reading this second page of the Power of Now. And at the time, I had no idea what I was reading. I literally didn't understand the words, but my whole body lit up. Like I always describe it like as, uh, the plug was taken out the whole time. I was plugged in for the first time. And I just, from that moment, it was like nonstop. I would have audiobook every second that I could do it. I had audiobooks or reading books. It was just, and it never really stopped actually after that. So but that was my first experience, Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, and that just awakened a fire.
I think the Celestine prophecy was mine. So this is it's like there were steps along the awakening journey where you have like an awakening moment, but it doesn't stay with you.
Yeah.
So it was reading the Celestine prophecy, and as I recall, and I might have this a bit wrong because it was about 95, however many years ago that was, 25, and they're on a mountain, and he gets this flash of like humanity or something, um, and I remember reading that bit especially. But there was a lot of familiarity, even though I was very left brain and scientific in the way that I viewed the world, and a nurse, and didn't believe in any of this stuff, didn't believe in energy or even reflexology or any acupuncture, nothing of that. I was very much the biomedical model and science, but there was still a knowing in there as I read it, even though I couldn't accept it. It was like this dichotomy of I know that's true, but I don't believe it, kind of thing.
Around that same time, I had a same in Bournemouth again, and there's one lady, and I always say she was in one of Eckhart Tolle books. He talks about a burning log, and when a burning log is set beside another burning log, that fire is passed on to that burning log. And I always call this lady my burning log, because she gave me Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I had that experience on Good Friday. I remember it was Good Friday as well. I was and had that experience. But at that same time, she showed me a video of Abraham Hicks, and I still remember the video so clearly. And she showed me that, and I was like, I don't believe any of this. It was actually an Irish guy, and he has a hat. It's called The Missing Piece. An Irish guy, and he had the hat, and he didn't want to be filmed. And he had this actually amazing conversation with Abraham Hicks, and I was like, yeah, he's right. I agree. Everything he said, he was like picking holes in all the things, and actually, he was making a lot of real points that humans, we would, feel about, the teachings and stuff like that. And literally, from I think it was a matter of like 2 weeks or something crazily short, I had completely 180. I had everything that Abraham said just made total sense, and I was just completely. It was amazing how fast it happened, but from complete total skeptic, even though the something was happening with The Power of Now, and I had this love experience, I still was very skeptical, especially about Abraham Hicks. And then 2 weeks, completely different. And that's really continued to happen to me as well. I'll have periods of just like nothing, nothing, nothing. Then one day I'll wake up and everything, just a whole download has received, and I know I have to do something different. It's happened. It happened on Sunday. It's crazy. I think it's just to bypass the mind and bypass that linear. If we've come from that place, I think it's designed that way so we don't get too much time to think about it.
I did have some experiences after my dad died, actually, where he appeared to me in dreams. And it was those, those real dreams that are so, so vivid. And I think he'd appeared twice. And the second time, I was like, but Dad, you're still alive. And I said to him in the dream, I'm going to have to write to all the medical magazines, all the medical journals, and tell them they've got it all wrong, that when we die, we don't die. And I said to him, so what's it like when you die? And he said, come on, I'll show you. And he held me by the hand, and we started flying off to this pink sun. And then my partner at the time coughed, and I was pulled out of the dream because obviously, I wasn't really meant to go fully. But that was such a vivid dream. But even though I'd had that and I knew the truth of it, I still wasn't ready 100% to kind of remodel everything. But for me, it was having a Reiki treatment, and that was just beyond everything, because I could feel the energy, I could feel the heat in her hands, and the difference in how I felt before and after was I'd never felt so good for years and years and years. So that was my real turning point. And that was, I learned Reiki a few months after that. But that Christmas, because that was December 2000, I bought myself a book on Reiki and was already placing my hands on my body and already bringing it in. But once I had the attunement the following May, I was so evangelical, and I had this 360 turnaround. And it was a really easy process to remodel the world. But I was telling everybody about this energy, and I felt that everyone deserved to be touched by this energy. And if it didn't make a difference to their life, that was fine. I wasn't bothered about that, but I wanted them to have the opportunity to feel this beautiful piece of heaven that we all could feel. And yeah, so I started doing Reiki on patients in the hospital and staff as well.
Wow.
And a fair few of the staff were attuned to Reiki after that, because I think they couldn't help but see a difference in me, because I went from being very left brain, very cynical, and not afraid to voice that cynicism as well, to something really quite different.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm same. I was very cynical, very doubtful of everything, and challenged everything, questioned everything. It's good on one point, but yeah, I am like unrecognizable from that person that was in Byron Bay at the same time as you. I don't recognize that person, but thankfully now, like 10 years into the journey, I love that person. I accept that person. That was a lot of work to get to that, to accept and love and embrace that part that was very cynical and very damaged and so many different things. But yeah, it's perfectly designed and perfectly timed.
And I think the questioning is good because it brings us into a space of discernment
Yeah,
rather than just accepting everything. But
absolutely.
instead of it being proved by science, which was my you know my proof point, it's it's my internal barometer. It's how does that feel inside me? Is that a truth? I feel that as a truth,
Yeah,
or I don't feel that as a truth. It's not my truth at that particular time.
absolutely. Yeah. And like you shared, it's something for me as well. Very particular. I need experience. I need experience, and I've worked with so many people, and they have these incredible experiences that are just like amazing for me to hear, but I rarely have these very visceral. I've had some, but unless I directly experience it, it's not that I don't believe, it's that until I experience it directly, exactly in the way that it is for me, I don't really. I just think that's a beautiful experience someone else is having, but I have to have a really visceral, clear, direct experience myself until I like really accept it, I think. I don't resist it anymore. Of course, at the beginning, that I would have been like in resistance to everything.
Yeah.
Now it's just like I just accept how I experience, how in ways in which I'm sensitive, in ways in which I'm not. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes you kind of wish you hear people having experiences, and I've had it like when we were in the mystery school, people having these just unbelievable. I've deleted that word. These just amazing experiences, and I was just like kind of thinking, oh, I wish I had those. I wish that would happen, or I wish I could see this, or I wish, you know. But we get that. That's just I think it's just a bit of human nature, and I don't think it's necessarily unless we take it too seriously. I don't think it like questioning is healthy.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you experience energy? Do you feel it? Do you see it? Do you
Feeling
like hear your guidance? You
just feeling and knowing. It's feeling and knowing for me. Very, very rarely visual. Very, very rarely. And if it is, it's never like my wife is the complete opposite. She can literally, when she talks about dreams, she'll talk about like the tiny drops of water, like the dew on a leaf. Like she can literally tell you that much detail. I'm just it's just feeling and kind of knowing, just a feeling and a knowing, and no idea how or why, but there's just a feeling and a knowing. Yeah.
and when do
and
the
and the
channel?
channel is never, I don't hear a voice. it's it's just there. There's no separation. There's no I hear a voice, I repeat, like I've heard others describe it. For me, it just comes, and I am kind of stepped back. I'm removed from it, but not removed. Like it's still myself, but the conscious mind is kind of step back. But it's like very fast for me. It can just happen very, very fast.
And are
So
you, as Shanine says, are you in the back room?
I would say I'm here, but the Martin story is step back. Is just behind here, and
Yeah.
it's just opened the doorway. It's opened a pathway. But I'm not far removed. I'm aware. I would say always. I'm aware of everything that's been said. But the second it's out, it's like I always talk about. It's fallen off a cliff. It's like I'm aware of everything. I feel everything. Sometimes when I chat, I do see things as well, but it's very specific for people if I'm to deliver something. But it's like I'm aware. I know what's being said. I don't always understand what's said. Sometimes words come that I have to look up in the dictionary, which is very weird. A few times, lots of times that's happened actually. But um, it I just feel it's our higher. It's different names, different races, but it's us. It's just us, and the part of us that's the story of Martin or Denise that's lived this lifetime with all our conditions and limitations, just takes a little step back in my way of seeing it, and it allows the more full aspect of ourselves to come through. It's not
I
something else. It's us. It's just other aspects of us.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask because when I first began with this, like my guides, my helpers were angels, archangels, ascended masters, the fairy realm. And it was, I was saying this to Shaz before, it was like I wouldn't have trusted myself enough for it to be a higher aspect of me. So it's like it was more external to me. But then as time's gone on, and actually really quite recently, probably in the last 3 years, it's like, oh, actually that's me. That's me that's speaking. It's a higher aspect. It's a multidimensional aspect of me. And I was aware of some of my multidimensional aspects, but I wasn't really aware so much that I was them at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same. I had the same as well, of course, and at the beginning because I was very skeptical. It took me a long. It took me 3 years, 3 years before I would even tell anyone about it, like literally anyone. And so it happened one day with my now wife. We weren't married at the time, but we were sat eating breakfast in a tiny little studio in Dubai, tiny little place, and we were sat eating breakfast, and it was like I think that aspect or that greater energy just had enough of waiting. And it's like, I just felt like that's the only time I've ever felt like it was like it had to happen. It was like something was trying to move my mouth. It was an energy was trying to move my mouth. And my wife's from Brazil, and channeling is just any old thing. It's not like in Ireland where you know the beliefs of possession and all this sort of crap. But it's very natural and very common in Brazil. I said, I feel like something's trying to move my mouth. And although I'd experienced it, I never thought something like that would happen to me. And she said, oh, you're going to channel. And I was like, I have no idea. Anyway, and then so I did a meditation, and then this very garbled, it was actually quite painful, and that first message come through. But it took 3 years before I would let that actually come, and I would share it with anyone, tell anyone. And then light language, that took about another, so after that, it was like another year and a bit before I would let that come through. Even with my wife, that was strange. Light language, even with my wife, I didn't want to share with her. And we share everything, absolutely everything, 24/7. And I really resisted that. And then it just kind of naturally came through as well. Well, it's always naturally coming. We allow it or not, all of us. That's the way I feel.
I think for me, it kind of happened in a similar way to my Reiki master, because she'd say something and then she'd go, those were not my words. And when I started teaching Reiki, sometimes people would ask a question. And as they're asking the question, as they start to ask the question, I think, I don't know the answer. But before they've even finished answering the question, I just know the answer. But then sometimes I would find myself saying something and think, this isn't me speaking right now. And I don't, maybe I do, and it's just become so second nature that I don't really know that I'm doing it. I wouldn't say I necessarily channel in the same way that you do, but actually I think I do. I just haven't necessarily named it as such. And obviously when I'm doing the light language, like that's when it's more speaking English that I don't do it so much.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's a more expanded version then. To be
yeah,
honest, English or any language of our human language is a more limited version. But there is a place for it, especially now in this time and this transition time, because as we move from, you know, language into light language into non-verbal telepathic, it's going to be those stages, and we need all of them. I feel we need all of them.
yeah,
When you mentioned there, do you know Daryl Anka channel for Bashar
yeah,
in 2016? So I was still in I loved this stuff, but I was still in very much denial that I would ever do it or I didn't want to do it. I loved it, but I would never have any thought of doing it. And when I was going, he came to Prague, and it was 2016. It was October 16, 2016. And I knew there was a huge crowd, 600 people. I knew I was going to speak to him. I just knew because I'd seen it. And I went up and I had some questions for him. And like you said there, I spoke. I was very nervous. I was like very nervous to speak in front of all these people and stuff. But I spoke my question. The second the question was out of my mouth, the answer was received, and then I could hear his voice saying the reply,
yeah,
and I was just like, "What is going on?" That was amazing. I was like, the answer's fully received, and then I'm hearing him speak, and there's, oh, that's for everyone else. it was
Yeah.
it was amazing. But it still took another, and he gave me advice, he gave me the kind of, you need to go do this, go just do it, just go and do it. But it was still another year and a half after his advice, I think, or 2 years maybe. Oh no, it was about a year and a half after that I actually started to let it come.
I love what you said about the light language. It feels like it's a step towards telepathy
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
It's because when I started using it, it was in treatments, it was in sessions, and it was bringing through light language activations. So for me, it wasn't like in conversation, as it were.
Yeah,
It was for a purpose. And I would kind of say that you can't. At the time, it felt like you couldn't translate one word of English necessarily to one word of light language, but that one word of light language could hold like a whole
mm,
book of English. Um, but since then, in more recent times, I've had conversations with people in light language. Denise Human doesn't really know what's being said, but I'm just trusting that what I'm responding is some kind of answer to the question that's
yeah,
being asked. But
yeah.
it does feel like it's like a stepping stone towards telepathy.
Yeah, I feel that because it's a step beyond, because it takes the logical linear mind out of it, from the language and interpretation and all the different languages and different meanings of words, and then it takes us beyond that. But even still, verbal, is a step behind, like complete open telepathic, knowing communication. And but it's beautiful. And I feel our counterparts in the stars, they actually really love our creativity. They love like our language and our art and our music and all of these things. So it's not like it's inferior. Don't want to say like that's better, that's a stage of development. But Earth humans and our creativity is like, it's something that there's a lot of interest in our creativity and our art and our poetry and all of the things, the music, and language is one part of those. So it's not like it's an inferior thing. It's just, in universal terms, it's a limited version of
Yeah.
communication.
And words are really interesting because they hold energy. You know,
Absolutely.
numbers hold energy, and words, like you didn't use unbelievable before. It's kind of like you realize that some words have a particular resonance, or a resonance has been added to the words almost. It's like an energy has been added to words that gives them a heaviness that may, like money, for example, that there's a lot of stuff attached to money. Money is a very pure thing.
Of
It
course.
was started as a very pure thing, but there's like a heaviness attached to it now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I find it really, I love learning about the etymology of words, like when you look at them and go, I hadn't even seen, like Shaz said, universe before is one song. And I'm like,
Those things I love. Yeah, that happens all the time to me as well. That's like what I was saying before, like a word that you've seen forever, you know it well, you've seen it a million times, but you don't see
yeah,
how it was. Like for me recently with this higher self community, it was unity in community,
yeah,
the word unit. And I was like, I was actually literally given it in written form. So I was writing it out, community, and then it went to capital letters for unity. And I was like, it's so, everything's hidden in plain sight. But I love I'm with you there, like words and how there's these kind of it's not even secret, it's literally in front of our face, but we just can't see it until we're ready to perceive it in the way that um that works for us. And also, words and the energy behind them are really only the meaning that we give them. So like you said about money, it's just that there's a lot of beings that have given it a certain meaning, so that has that meaning for that group of people. It
mm-hmm,
doesn't have that intrinsic meaning, but
yeah,
then it gives that experience because there's a lot of people. So that's why we are very careful, and we are very, you know people think I'm a wee bit like uh, too much on that, but I about use how powerful the words are that you use, because the meaning that it has for you is the meaning that it is.
Yeah.
And if you're using limiting language and stuff like that, it's a simple shift, but it's so powerful. And myself and my wife, we went through years of this process of like literally deleting words, but it's an ongoing process. There's millions of words, but it's powerful. And you can also redefine. You could redefine. The meaning. You can.
Yeah.
Just because you have a certain meaning for a word doesn't mean that I'm going to have the same meaning. I can actually give it, an empowering meaning,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do the same. So I feel it's all about our intent and conscious use of whatever form of expression that we have.
I agree. So tell me about the freedom codes and what that's been meaning to you this week.
So that what day was the 7th? Because this linear stuff,
Tuesday.
it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that was Monday, Tuesday. So on Sunday night, this is how soon it happens for me. On Sunday night, and it was literally at, like, I usually go to bed early, but this was just before 12 o'clock. And I'll tell, like, I always like to be really on. I was just sat mindlessly scrolling through my phone for probably 45 minutes or an hour, like totally mindless, no consciousness. I have no idea what I was doing or what I was looking at. And I'm just sat, just feeling normal. It's late, and why am I not in bed? Anyway, I sat down. The second I put down the phone, turned it off, I just got this wave of like ecstasy, bliss, soulgasmic energy that just like it rocked me. It literally rocked me. Like, as I was actually shaking, my feet were moving back and forward. It was that strong. And it was just this wave of absolute bliss. And I was just stood there with a big like smile. And my wife and um, son were in bed, obviously, and I'm on my own. I'm just like not shaking, vibrating, but it was so powerful. It was rocking me back and forward, and this wave of bliss. And it didn't last very long. I would say maybe 4 or 5 minutes at a guess. I could be wrong there. I have no idea, but it didn't seem, because I've had other experiences last very long time, but this, I'm going to say 4 or 5 minutes. And then right away I had this, again, it's not a voice. I had that you need to go get your pen and paper and you go to write down this freedom code, 777 freedom code invocation. So I went and sat down outside, and then this whole invocation came, and I've never had anything like that before. Nothing like it, anything like it at all. Um, so that came, and I was very tired. But again, there was just a knowing that I had to share this in some way on 7/7. So 7/7/7, so 7 o'clock on that day. And then, so Monday, Monday, then there was all trying to, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? But then, because it's only one day and it was the next day, everything just come together. Like, I have a friend who's a DJ. He lives close by, and like doing like mix music, it takes some time. And I sent him this. So I the next morning, I I read it out and recorded it in audio, because I knew I had to do it audio visual, where it would be on the screen and people could do it together. And I sent him this music, and I said, we need to put this together. I want to do a video, like very short notice. And amazingly, he's a lot of stuff to do. Amazingly, he was able to put it all together, send it back to me, and I was able to just get together the three other, I was told, like breathwork, activation, um, movement, expression, light language, free expression. So that all came together. So that happened on whatever time on Monday. And then the next night I'd set it up, send out, and we had a lot of people there. And honestly, I have no idea what's coming or what's going on. I speak to a lot of people, I work with. They're very detailed, and they get these like very, very detailed ideas, and have to do this and all that. For me, I sit down and it just comes. Before, I have no idea what's going to happen, other than the fact that there was a breath work, this free movement, and then that invocation. And I just shared it. It was very powerful energy. It felt like very, very beautiful. So many people connected, and I feel afterwards, and I noticed like there was a huge expansion, huge high. Most people were having like absolutely beautiful experiences. And then the next day I woke up like absolutely in pain. I was in pain. Literally, my whole body was in pain. Like I'd run a multi-dimensional marathon is what it felt like. And to go from that high and that expansion. So then when I felt that, I knew a lot of other people would be feeling the same, and we kind of shared about that, and other people were feeling the same. But there's always an integration process. But I truly feel what has come is a very, very deep level. This invocation and these codes are working on a very, very deep level. Um, and what I've found since is that the things that are coming very visceral and real. Like I said, I need something visceral and real, like you know something like a shadow or something that you're looking to deal with, or fears. They're coming like very fast, but they're being able to be transmuted, seen through, embraced, loved, whatever, very, very quickly as well. So that's what I found so far, and I'm just feeling so energized, so free, so connected, and so many. I'm feeling very creative and connecting with, like, I don't know, I don't know about you, but like my whole kind of online feed and people that I connect with, it seems to be everyone is new. There were
Mm.
lots of people that I'm still connected with, but out of nowhere, like so many new people have come, and I have no idea how that happened. It just happens. Um, so yeah, I just feel it's working on a really, really deep level, and it's a three-part process what I'm to share, and yeah. Until I'm doing the second part's going to be tomorrow, and again, I really have no idea what is coming or how it goes, because I feel like I'm not supposed to really think about it. Or a lot of times I'm not supposed to really know. I know I
Yeah.
do a lot of work where it's really as a messenger, and I do my own work in silence and doing whatever I do, but I'm really a messenger, or I offer things for a lot of people, and I might not necessarily have the experiences that they have, sometimes to my detriment, and that's what I'm thinking, oh, I wish I did. But yeah, this really felt like it went deeply into the core of who we are, and but what I do feel about it as well is like a code only unlocks, and it was 333 on my screen in seconds. So the code is an unlocking. So this is what came the next day. So a code mastery is unlocking the codes within. Embodiment is living the codes without, and understanding is sharing the codes with all. So a code that is unlocked, that is not embodied or lived, is nothing. It has to have some form, like your beautiful expression behind you. Like the code exists, but you give it an expression with your art, or someone does with light language or whatever. But then it has to be lived. It has to be like you've got it beautifully displayed, or the invocation, whatever it was. It needs to be a living process. A code is just an unlocking. It's not the whole picture.
Yeah.
So that's my feeling on it, and I feel like, yeah, the next stage, I just got it with that 333. The next stage is about living, embodying it, and bringing source into form, source into beingness.
That's really interesting because I know that that code is one of three. So there's going to be three handwritten codes.
Wow.
I've never done the series of three before, but this one, it was like, this is one of three. This is the first. There'll be more as well, because I've started mirroring them and putting extra lights to them as well. So there's going to end up being more than that, but there's three of the original codes. So that I find really interesting as well. And I wanted to point out that as soon as you started talking about the freedom codes, you
I just see it now. I just see it now. Oh my God. That's weird. I'm melting into the earth. Look at that. I've got your camera right here, so I'm not looking at myself. I'm just seeing, oh, there, look, it's changed again now. I'm back. I've
but yeah,
become,
as
it's
soon as
become
you
more
started talking
physicalized.
about them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, there was something else I was going to pick up on there, and it's gone. I I found it really helpful. It was really powerful. I watched it yesterday. And the imagery behind you is really powerful as well. And I wonder if you would be open to us doing some light language together here on the call, because I know when, I can't remember what it was you were doing. I know you had those images behind you again. And I was on the call and I could really feel us weaving together as well, because I was doing light language here.
Yeah.
But I feel that there's something to share in that.
Absolutely.
And I want to just have a quick check on the. Oh, of course. Thank you, Angel. 7 + 7 + 7 is 21, which equals 3.
Ah, I love it. I just got all the way up my crown. You see that? It's just
Yeah.
amazing. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I didn't see it, and I've been. It's like been. I just love that. That's what I just love about community and social and all of this. Is like everyone has the little keys and the parts, because no one has it all, because that would be just
Yeah.
boring. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. We each have this, like the jigsaw puzzle. We each have this piece for each other, and someone's going to look at the same thing as you, and you're not going to see, and they're going to see what it is you're to see. It's just magic. I love that. Wow.
And I started really flushing as well when you were going translucent. As soon as we started talking about that energy, I was like, oh, I can really feel there's some heat coming in at that point as well. Okay. I'll have more of it. None of those are really getting my attention, the messages. So and I feel this is going to be quite an organic process as well, of us sharing light language. And I feel to pass over to you as well to start bringing in whatever, whenever you feel it's right.
Okay. Hey, 去苏托卡耶塔谢杰古图阿耶那莫拉伊基提下苏下萨基图乌亚。
Kilihiamano koe eran okud est orbaan, el ehian, e bara, e kilebera ont oya. Konimekastore in arot un aro, come parate kienal ea. Cum arahiam, nubruit eret iod, hul arana koinast, ud aramekiema, eliamani kiema no kuistara, kili na ierot un, oberoi edorlam, kun eaba aero, kulapo kuntoya, enea stara. Kulihiama ea kun oist ea, el ian era, o kun e kiaron e bara, e kien earon a kiepra, kud le poro, unna ea na kiedla purt unna. Burt-an, 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 e kien era, kudalestai, nuburdaine ai kudulaka, e chiapparan o koko koyeta stara bara.
te na ye wai su. Ema ye ke le de tututo oko na ama ye eti kitia ututora ye de ana urakit ai siat ko maye e nai kututuraya talai kite. Ana mai kuru tu ukiana ai ne ke la isa tu ko. Ukoko e na ai iketo na i ukoko e na i tu kokoko na marai tu toi e kiata ese. E kiata ukoko na marai te shu te aka e tia shisa tu ta kia te shi tu yana. Amai uturai e kita e na i sisu hai kiata utoyana.
Kurut aina bekarale kia nada. Kuh pia mea ano kuya taporedem. E kin narai uit urat a. Kul ehia mbere eat anst uit era. Kida arana mekia parat ana kidla bakata a. Ana mekilla baerat ut ora la bakit 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 la bakit. Ana mekilla bad la bakit la bakit la bakit la bakit la bakit oi stup la bakit la bakit ta. Ana mekilla bae la bakit 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 la bakit. Ana mekilla bad la bakit la maret loy. Ya la bakit 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 la bakit. Ah, edel oit earut oit oi. Ana hia la bakit oit a. Uk oi an oist ut oi it at un. A ki mai ut oi. Mai to la porut e. Ay 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 ay. La naya. Bort an, te ut un a ar ut oi barata. Do it oi kun ma est ar it oi ut oi barat o. Hook la packet do. Namaket la pakan udore tutun. Hoya noya ay. Oi ne. Erloi. Hey. Ja, myula on oja. Kelle enast oit a. Ke an okoi oro unukost. Hal oro unukotun a.
Shunamae uai, tumanae wae, tumanae ae nae, tumanae ae, suranama, puranae, hinarumai anoe.
Kunaman diero uno ore ta. Na para en o. Kal estara no kuya para. El hiamane kielei aidoi. Eat un ara eakast an a. Eki naro un o kuyest. El hiamana ko o. Est era ut oi nemakiera an utoitata. Kele hiam mbera nemakiera tata ana ut oi. El ea no kunama est ut nama ea. Kul ea stara inne kio boro uno kuita. Ki ered ut oea. Me parat ukuna ke tatan a. Kel istara an ukun a. El hian ed at ut oi ut oi. Kel no kuma a. Kel ist ara no kun a. El kibron oi et oist ara. Kula hana ekero. Ut era. Kul ehiam ero un ukukokusta. Ki ist ara anotoyanama. Kul ahan ara kuust era. Ehia mba ut oi. Kel ian oko hoko. Elhiam marat ut oya. Elhianoya kam umesta. Elian anakiera ut oi. Asht arat oi. Abertoi de badalabakatata. Ui na kest erotoin. Ekianast uihan ero. Ule anaya kudodo doyana. Kun anamakit arara kuyitata. Han ai oi ot oi. Kod ot on ot oi a. O kost ara ot on ot ora. O meleana karut ot oia. Merat on kutototoist aratatata. Oh my.
Wow. 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 Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, there was definitely some, what can I call it? Because this is the first time we've connected on this level as well, even though, we've connected in the ether and kind of virtual, even more virtual world. There was just something happened there. Like there was some activation going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I felt it, and I just felt this just really just warm, beautiful, gentle but powerful energy. It was just like a warm blanket surrounding me of just pure love. That's what I was experiencing. It was very, very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to watching that, because even though I'm kind of seeing with my eyes closed, and it's always interesting what I'm doing with my hands, because often there's commonality in activations, but often there's new stuff. I'm like, ooh, I've not done that before, or ooh, what's that? And there was I've done some things bringing hands together before, but that was quite different. I'm quite intrigued to see, and lots of geometries.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a lot, but I'm aware. When you say that, I just know that I am aware of that. It's strange, but I don't know how. I think the geometries come with the hand movements,
Yeah.
but very rare. It's just like blankness for me visually. Um, Sometimes light, but yeah, I can feel that very much, the geometry, and there were certain like patterns of really working on a very deep soul level. I truly felt, and there were certain things I rarely watch anything back, very, very rarely. I haven't watched like anything recently. I haven't watched anything back, but I'd be interested in seeing that myself as well, so that would be really cool.
Were your eyes closed for most of that?
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I have eyes open as well, but generally I am eyes closed for pretty much everything. Yeah.
It's really, you can't open your eyes after a certain point as well. It's kind
Mm.
of like you actually can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I did
Yeah.
at the beginning,
You
but
just naturally go there. Yeah.
yeah. I noticed with the geometries I was doing light octahedrons, but the opposite way around. And I thought that was really interesting, because when I put the lights on the freedom codes, they came through on that as well, like that kind of
Mm.
shape of lights. So that was interesting to me.
Beautiful. Yeah. I just felt it, yeah, just so warm, loving. It was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Pleasure to do this again.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though we didn't do it this lifetime, we've, yeah, this is,
absolutely.
it's just easy. It's just natural. It just feels natural. It feels easy. It feels, um, what's the word? You used it earlier. It's like a, you know, a recognition.
Yeah.
That's not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, it doesn't need the word. It's felt.
Oh, thank you so much, Martin. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That's absolute pleasure and honor for me as well. Thank you for having me. Thank you for sharing your love speaks love. Thank you for following your passion, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, and thank you for all you're doing as well. It's really amazing work that you're putting out there. So, and it feels I love that we've connected. I love that we've kind of reconnected as well. It feels like, this is interesting. It feels like there's a lot more to do.
Always, always, always. And it will be made known for me probably 5 minutes before it's supposed to happen, but that's okay. Yeah, yeah, I feel it too. I feel it too.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone who's been with us on the call. And I know there's going to be a lot more people watching live as well, and on YouTube. So thank you, everybody. Mine's not working, so I think
That's good. That's good.
I'm just gonna stop the live stream at this point and take that off. Thank you. There will be
Thank
at
you,
least
everyone.
one more Love Speaks Love next week, but I'm gonna stop the live stream there.